Artificial sugars are pretty much in everything these days, whether it's food, drinks, gum. I mean, gum, obviously. I
Yeah.
mean, I meant to say toothpaste.
But also gum.
Also gum. I can't even think of examples, but anything you can think of that you consume, there's artificial sugar in it.
Yeah, to some
Yeah.
degree, yeah.
Whether the presence of artificial sugar in stuff is bad or good, we'll uncover that a little bit later on. But I want to start off by saying that a lot of people use artificial sugar as a way to maintain their caloric intake. It was actually developed initially for people with diabetes or who are obese. But then capitalism came by and people saw how much money you can make out of this, and I think that's when artificial sugar went into everything.
Yeah, and also during the World War,
Yeah.
like having access to sugar was hard, so people were like, okay, we're gonna consume artificial sugars because we want to be like good patriots to our country and consume non-natural sugar.
Is it really like that?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Because the aftertaste was not as good as how it is now.
I know that artificial sugars have been around for like a long time, maybe around since the 80s or something like that. But I don't know how they were created. Do you know?
Yeah. So I think the person who figured it out was called Fahlberg, and he was working in the lab, and he was working on coal tar. Coal tar.
Coal tar.
Yeah.
Like the thing that burns.
Yeah.
Great heat.
Coal tar, and he was working on it. He overboiled, I think, something related, like a derivative of coal tar, and then he went home. Apparently, he didn't wash his hands after working in the lab, and when he was eating, he like figured that, oh my god, that's very sweet. So he went back to the lab. He searched up everything that he had done. He tasted the stuff that he made, and then he figured, oh, this is very sweet.
That's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And weird and concerning. Now I'm really concerned about what's inside of artificial sugar.
It's fine. Like, there's nothing bad in it.
There's nothing bad?
I would say so.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. And well, yeah, that's how it came to be. So after he discovered what was the thing that it was made out of, he consumed a lot of it, and then he waited for like a day to see if anything happens to him. And he figured that, oh, nothing happened. So that was where it started.
So
artificial sweetener.
He was waiting to die.
I think, yeah, that was really dumb, to be honest. I think, but I mean, artificial sweeteners.
Exactly. Oh my god, that's crazy. That's really insane. Artificial sweeteners, it said that they're low in calories,
right?
Or like non-existent in calories. I know that that's the reason because they don't get metabolized by the body, except one, aspartame, which has like 4 calories per gram.
Yeah,
I think. But the other ones, they don't get metabolized at all. And you won't be consuming a lot of them because there are a lot times sweeter than natural sugar like sucrose.
Right. So, for example, they're maybe 400 times sweeter than sugar. And actually, they're so sweet in such a small amount that when you see the actual artificial sweeteners, a lot of times most of the particles you're seeing are carriers. So they could be even smaller, but you couldn't really use them. So they add carriers to it.
So those little like sugar tablets, like stevia?
Yeah, a lot of it is carriers.
A lot of it. So it's just like filler product?
Yeah.
Wow. Also, you said one of them was 400 times stronger than sucrose. I think those are the aspartame and maybe saccharin. But there's a new one. Like, it's the most recently produced. It's called neotame, and that's 7 times...
700.
7,000. 7,000 times stronger than sucrose.
Wow.
I haven't really heard about it, like, within food. I usually just hear about saccharin or aspartame. Aspartame is the most common one, but neotame is 7,000. times strong, I suppose. I think the most common reason people use artificial sugars, or they like buy it artificial, like literally they buy stevia, is to consume less sugar, hence less calories. But is that really the case? Like, does artificial sugar help you lose weight?
I would say yes.
You would say yes?
Yeah.
I would say yes as well. But if you're not mindful about it, you could actually like gear away from the purpose of artificial sugar and consume more food than you're intended to. Now, there's a lot of research on this that when you consume artificial sugar, your taste receptors, like in your mouth, in your gut, they don't activate the same satiety hormones as normal sugar. So let's say you consume honey.
Yeah.
You digest it, it's in your gut, and your body starts secreting this hormone called glycogen-like peptide 1, and it's a satiety hormone.
Yeah.
And also a peptide YY. And that can cross the blood-brain barrier, which means that it can reach your brain. Yeah, it can reach your hypothalamus. And then your hypothalamus is going to be like, okay, I've had sugar. I am happy now. I do not want any more sugar. And then you're not going to consume any more sugar. But with artificial sugar, it's been proven that you don't get the response to that extent. So your hypothalamus won't recognize that it's getting the sugar because of the caloric content of the artificial sugar. Fructose or honey, it has the calories in it.
Yeah.
But artificial sugar has no calories. So you are in theory more likely to consume more sugar in order to satisfy this in order for your hypothalamus to be like, okay, we don't want any more. However, there's also research that suggests that this compensatory eating to satisfy the hypothalamus isn't really what's happening. Like, people aren't gonna eat an additional 200 or 300 calories of sugar in order to compensate. They're more likely just eat another artificial sugar, and they'll still be in a negative caloric intake. So they're gonna lose weight. It's really difficult to say for sure, but if you eat artificial sugar, just that, and have a normal diet, then you aren't gonna be eating stuff that you're not supposed to. Like, you're gonna be losing weight, I think.
Yeah. So I have a take on this. And my take is that usually, like, when you eat something, for example, you eat a cookie or anything, it's not just pure sugar. Like, it's not gonna be pure glucose, for example. It's gonna have other carbohydrates, and it's gonna be made with flour. It's gonna have like some chocolate chip or whatever. So there's calorie in that. And when you add artificial sugar to it, you're gonna still get the satiety and the fullness out of the other stuff inside the cookie. But then you're gonna not have the extra calories that would be there because of the sugar.
Yeah.
So if you, as you said, have a normal diet, if you just replace the normal sugar with some artificial sugars, fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you just crave sugar for the sense of sugar, then maybe eating something really sugary would be better.